The Mechaneers Tricksleeves are an exotic pair of gauntlets for the hunter in Destiny 2. Their intrinsic perk, Spring-Loaded Mounting, gives you increased reload and handling speed for sidearms, because hand cannons and sidearms would be ridiculous. Now the question is, are they worth an exotic slot above something like the Orpheus rigs? Orpheus rig, the good boots for the hunter. But the answer is pretty simple. No. Now, if you'd like a more complex answer, then I guess I could say not for PvE, but kinda for PvP. Now, the main reason for this is what the perks actually do. As you can see from the clips playing now, the reload is about half, with the sidearm going from about 2 seconds to about 1 second. But the equip time goes from 0.93 to 0.75 seconds, which is not the best increase, or I should say decrease. But how do these perks stack up in the field and in the Crucible? Well, let's start with PvE, because PvP is very scary. So, while reloading faster is always a good choice, you are reloading a sidearm, which does not take that long to reload. So it's kind of a useless perk, especially when you can just duck behind cover and reload. You're really not too constrained on time, unless you're doing like a nightfall or something, but even then, shaving off a second isn't gonna do a whole lot. Not only that, but sidearms are not that great in higher level play. I mean, don't get me wrong, they can obviously still kill stuff, but you do have to be like 2 inches away to do max damage. Their damage fall off is pretty brutal. While using something like a scout rifle, you can just kind of stay towards the back where a lot of enemies can't hit you, unless you're going up against like a hobgoblin or something, but those guys are scary. You just hide behind cover. And if you're going up close, you should probably be using something like a shotgun, which does incredible damage. I know it's a power weapon, and we're talking about an energy or kinetic weapon, but you're going to have enough power ammo in PvE if you can portion it out correctly, or just kill a yellow guy, he'll usually drop it too. Although if you're looking to compare something more apples to apples and less apples to oranges, then I would compare it to something like an SMG or an auto rifle, which are made for close range combat, but they can still attack from a mid-range, auto rifle more than SMG, so usually there are better choices for PvE activities than a sidearm. Now, can you still clutch a Nightfall boss with a sidearm with your whole team down? Absolutely. Is that likely going to happen? Not if you're using a sidearm, because you're going to have to get real close to him. You can just do a slam. But, I mean, you know, there are also other guns that you can out-DPS with a sidearm. For example, Fighting Lion, the Gallahorn-shaped paperweight. But, nevertheless, if you happen to have the Mechaneers Tricksleeves and no other exotic, sure, go ahead and throw them on. They won't hurt you, because they don't force you to use a sidearm. It's just recommended. Now for the PvP side of things. This is a bit more tricky, because in the field, enemies tend to miss a lot more than in Crucible. Not only that, but milliseconds do count in the Crucible. They can mean the difference between life and a respawn. Many can easily make a case that, you know, if you're in a pinch or something and you're running around and all you have is a scout rifle out, you can quick swap to that awesome Last Hope and blast him down with that laser beam accuracy. Hashtag Bungie please nerf. Or if you're trying to get up close and personal with an auto rifle and you happen to run out of ammo, you can quick swap to that sidearm and blast away that flanking shotgun titan who can't seem to be handled by your team, because no one seems to be competent in quick play. As a side note, I know it's quick play, but come on, can't people just like stick together and team fire and be a team and do team stuff as a team? Anyway, the point is, they have a use, but the meta at the moment does not really support them as much. Something like Mida or Uriel's Gift, which have those amazing high caliber rounds, will pop your aim so far off that it doesn't really matter what you're using. So as a TLDR, they can have a use in Crucible, but really they shouldn't if you're good enough to portion out your distance as well. And don't use them in PvE. Use something like the Orpheus, the cool Night Stalker boots. Use those. Those are awesome. So this has been an Or Gaming exotic review. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe and like for more stuff like this. If you didn't, you should like and subscribe anyway. You know, just 'cause.